Okay, welcome to the Neighborhood District 1 meeting. Can everyone hear me okay? Hopefully everyone signed in that's here. Yes, if you need chairs, we have more chairs in the back. We just didn't know how many people were going to come. And if you're attending through Zoom, it looks like they are sending me their name and address so we can verify. Okay, I'm just going to do a really quick introduction to the new program. Okay, so the Provo City Neighborhood District program began January 1st. This is a brand new program. The purpose of this new program is the same as the old program: public participation and involvement in Provo city affairs, and to provide a mechanism for communication between the city council and the public. So what's the same about this new program? You're still having your meetings with resident input. Your neighborhood names, boundaries, Facebook groups all stay the same. You're still having the matching grants program, $5,000 per district per year. They're still part of the COP program. Still meeting with developers on land use items. Representatives from city departments can present at meetings if you'd like them to. Fees are waived for planning applications on behalf of the district, and the chairs still present the residents' views at public hearings at the Planning Commission and the City Council. So those things are the same. So what's different is we're going from 34 neighborhoods to 5 districts. So the neighborhoods have been combined into 5 districts. And instead of a neighborhood chair, you have a district board. And then from that board, you're going to nominate a chair, 2 vice chairs, and a secretary. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And the executive board members are appointed by the city council. They applied to be part of the program and were chosen by the city council. We also have official district Facebook pages, which are informational only. They're not a neighborhood page for people to share if they have a lost cat or a yard sale or something like that. It's purely just information about the program. And then those other neighborhood Facebook pages are still there. So you can still have that interaction with your neighbors on those. Instead of the developer contacting the neighborhood chair about a meeting, now the neighborhood coordinator, that's me, I contact the developer and I put them on the agenda. We'll have a city planner at every meeting when we have land use items. So we do have a land use item tonight. So we have Aaron Ardmore, our city planner, here to answer your questions. We have $1,000 per district to pay for meeting costs or social functions. So if you want to have a block party or have treats at the meetings like that, you have $1,000 to spend on that. Zone changes, general plan amendments, major street plan amendments automatically get put on the agenda. They will always go to a neighborhood meeting. Other land use items like a project plan, something like that, that's up to the district board if they want that on or not. But some of these items, the items that go to the city council where you're changing zones or changing the general plan, those have to go to a neighborhood meeting. And now we have a set time, place, and date for the meeting. So the whole year has been figured out where each meeting is. And they're always going to be held here at 6:30. And then your District 1 will meet every 6 weeks. So what I like about the new program is that you get to know what's going on in your surrounding neighborhoods. For me, I live right on the edge of 2 neighborhoods. And so even though I live in this neighborhood, I have more in common and travel more in this other neighborhood. And with the districts, I'm going to know what's going on in that neighborhood as well as my neighborhood. It also spreads out the responsibilities between a board. So instead of just one chair having to do everything, or like a chair and a vice chair doing everything, you now have 10 to 11 people to spread that out, spread out those responsibilities. Oh, thank you. Whoever's doing the you have a greater pool of people with knowledge and resources. It could be someone on the board is really good about doing matching grants. Another person is really good knowing the code. So it's nice to have that group that you can go to if you have questions. I like that there's a consistent meeting time and place. Every meeting is recorded and every meeting will also be available through Zoom. So if you can't attend, we have quite a few that can't attend tonight and they're on Zoom. And I like that there's fewer Facebook groups, because for me, posting something in 34 groups where I have to post as a different person, I can either be city council or Rachel Breen, it takes me all day. So I like that there's fewer groups. So a question I always get, what if you don't like the new program? Give it some time. We're trying it out. It's brand new. I'm brand new. We're trying to figure it out. Also, tell me what you don't like. I'm keeping a list because in a year we're going to reevaluate. So let me know what you don't like, so then that way we can change it. Contact the city council because they're gonna, at about 6 months, they're gonna see how it's going, and at a year, they're gonna see if this is what they want to continue or if they want to kind of tweak it, do something a little bit different. And also, if you decide that the district program is not for you, all the things that we do in the district program, you can also do on your own. You can submit grammar requests to get information about a development project. You can attend and make comments at public hearings. You can submit feedback to Open City Hall. You can email the Planning Commission, the different boards, and the city council members. So everything that we do here this meeting, you can also do on your own. And so that's kind of my little introduction. And now, since we've got a bunch of people that are in a hurry to go to a meeting at 7 o'clock, we're going to start our nominations. So the nominees, so we're going to start for district chair. And the nominees must be members of the executive board. And so those that are at the executive board, because I have you raise your hand so people can see who you are. So just about most of you here are part of the executive board. And then you can nominate yourself. You can have someone else nominate you. And then when we have our nominees, we'll have them introduce themselves just really quick, why you want to be chair. And remember that as chair, you're representing the neighborhood. You're not representing your own point of view. So I don't want to hear a lot of, I hate this, I love this, because that's not what you're here for. You're here to represent the entire neighborhood, what they want.
Rachel?
Yes.
How do you get on the executive board?
So the executive board, that was an application process that happened during October and November, part of December. We had open applications, and
that would have been on the city site.
Yeah, on the website and on social media, telling people about that. And so we are still looking for someone from the Indian Hills neighborhood. We do not have a representative from Indian Hills. So I've got some papers down there saying, you know, apply with QR codes to the application if you know someone in Indian Hills that would like to be on the board, because we would like all neighborhoods represented on the board.
Rachel?
Yes.
This is Kathy Carlisle on Zoom. I haven't seen a list of the members of the board posted anywhere, and our view is very, very tiny. I can't see it there, so.
Let me see what I can do. Hang on. Let me get, well, I'm trying to pull up something. Does anyone have any nominations or anything like that? Or do any of the board members like to, Sharon?
I'd like to nominate Stan for the chair position.
Oh, okay. So we have a nomination for Stan for the chair position.
How long do you serve as term?
Oh, yeah, 1 year. The chair serves for 1 year, and then they have to wait at least a year before they can go again. Yes.
I'd like to nominate Matt Wright.
So Matt Wright. Oh, thank you. So we've got Stan Jensen. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna start passing those out. So Matt Wright. I'm sorry. Yes.
I'd like to bring up a concern.
Yes.
Our neighborhood didn't have any contact that this was happening. There's
Okay.
no email. sent out.
What,
North Timpview.
North Timpview, I know I've put it on your neighborhood Facebook page. I've
There's like-
alerted the
there's like
neighborhood
30 people.
chair.
There's like 30 people on that Facebook page.
So I know I emailed the neighborhood chair multiple times about the
We've gotten
application.
nothing from her, which is pretty difficult, honestly, in our neighborhood.
And that's one of the reasons why they're going with the district program, is so that the neighborhood chairs who maybe aren't as participatory, we can pick up the slack with the other people on the
Okay.
board.
It was just, I found out, somebody emailed me and asked if I was going from another neighborhood. I called 10 of my neighbors, nobody had any notice,
Hmm.
no idea this was happening tonight. And it just,
Yeah, and there was, we did send a mailer to every residence in Provo.
okay,
And those mailers are on the back table also
okay.
on that. But yeah, I apologize. That was one of the problems with the old programs, that we had some neighborhood chairs that didn't pass the information on, or communication honestly has always been a problem.
It's been a problem.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
not unique to Provo or to your neighborhood. That's a
Right.
worldwide, that's a national phenomenon.
Right, and so we're trying to get, the thing is, we can't give out, like, we don't have like a list of phone numbers or emails for everyone in your neighborhood. So that's one of our things we've struggled with.
Rachel,
yes.
where you have the ability to mail out to every homeowner or resident like you did.
Right,
On that end. Is that something that can be done per district? Is there money for doing that as far as a way of communicating? Here's what's going on in
Right.
District 1. Here's what's going on in District 2. I know in my community, I just moved back to the area. And we've got all sorts of changes that people wanting to do something. I
Right.
created a page for Sherwood Hills myself, and it financially spent money mailing out to every resident
Right.
of Sherwood Hills. Here's a place to go to find out about our CCNRs or this or that or the other. So does the city have
Right.
the ability
Well-
to do something so people like this gentleman back here,
right, so he knows what's
he
going
gets
on.
information quarterly, whatever it is, from this chairperson or the people that work with him that is mailed out, whatever,
Right,
so they know.
right, it is very costly to mail things out. We do
Yeah.
have that $1,000 budget that you can use for mailing things out on that. Okay, oh, let me get back to the nominees. Did we have, and I have Stan Jensen and Matt Wheelwright. Were there any, oh, yes, in the back,
And Richard Pratt.
Richard.
Oh.
Oh,
In the district.
let me see, Richard? I did not receive confirmation that you did your orientation. So you have not been appointed yet. So I can't have you run for an office. So I apologize. Emails were sent out repeatedly that they needed to have that done by the 17th.
Rachel, is anybody monitoring the chat?
I've had that training already.
Yeah, all the board except for Richard has confirmed that they've done the
Can you
training.
Put the list of the board on the screen. That
Yeah,
would
let
be
me
helpful
get
to
that.
everybody. Maybe they should introduce themselves so they know who may be candidates.
Yeah, let me get that.
Rachel, are you taking nominations from those on Zoom?
Yes. Thank you.
Rachel,
Yes,
are you taking nominations from those on Zoom?
okay, so we have, so on the board is Bonnie Morrow, Matthew, oh, do I not have him on there? Yeah, Matthew, I think he might be. There we go. So we have Stan Jensen, Matt Wheelwright, Bonnie Morrow, Robert Hammond, Sharon Memmott, Marion Monahan, Kent Johnson, Paul Warner, and Laura Middleton are the ones that can be nominated. And we had a nomination for Stan, right?
And from that.
Whoops. So we'll kind of put them in red, and for Matt. And then, were there other nominations that we had?
You'll want to check the chat on Zoom as well.
Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, we've got Bonnie nominated. See, so we've got Bonnie. Okay, we've got Kent Johnson has a nomination. Yes.
So it's even for- Oh, yeah, that's different.
Okay.
Yours.
Okay, let's see. See if there's anyone else nominated. Okay, we got
Can we move to close nominations?
Yeah, okay. Oh, what happened to my screen? Okay. Okay, let's see if we can reconnect. Okay, so Bonnie Morrow does not want to run for chair. So that's why she was taking.
I'll also decline.
Oh, okay. Laura's also declining. What was that? Yes. Okay, so we've got. Okay, so Kent is on. Okay, so we're closing nominations.
Can you reshare your screen?
Yes.
Four. We have the whole board introduce themselves while you are
Sure.
addressing issues there.
Yes. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, so those on the board, do you want to come up and just introduce yourself really quick?
Start with Stan. Just stand where you are, Stan.
All right. What type of introduction do you want? Just
Maybe what neighborhood you live in and why you wanted to serve on the board?
okay. I'm Stan Jensen. I'm in Sherwood Hills.
What
What do you like to do for fun, Stan?
play basketball and,
Why don't you come up front where we can see it?
okay. come up front.
Thank you.
Where's the Zoom?
When you can see him, we can't.
Go
That's
for it.
talk loud, Stan.
Okay, I'm Stan Jensen. I'm in Sherwood Hills. I like to play basketball and I am involved because I took the Provology course a year or so ago and learning more about city government, and frankly, some things I liked and more of them I wasn't very happy with. So I'm trying to be part of the solution rather than complaining all the time. So that's what I'm interested in. I completely agree with what Rachel said about the chair position. I don't think of it as a advocate position, just as somebody who's supposed to make sure all voices are being heard and that our process is smooth, efficient, and respectful. And so that's why I'm interested and involved. Glad to be here. I'm at Wheelwright. I guess I'm a different kind of candidate. I got a PhD in urban design. This is kind of my shtick. But I've lived in Northgate, which is up by the river bottom, shops in Riverwoods for what, almost 13 years. So we know the neighborhood, we know the community. I teach at BYU and UVU right now in construction management. So I do tend to be pro rate development. So I was very involved. I've been the neighborhood chair for 9 months, 8 months, and been very involved before with the flats approval process and went to all those meetings and fought to not let it be 5 stories. And so I do care what matters in our neighborhood. And so I'd be happy to be chair. I don't need to be chair, but I'm happy to do it and serve.
Bonnie.
Bonnie Morrow, and I'm from North Timpview neighborhood, and we love Provo. We love serving in Provo, and it's just an honor to be here. I'm excited about this new program. I think it's going to really streamline things and improve communication and clean up all the little glitches that we've dealt with over the years. So I'm excited to see this program move forward.
Okay, Robert, you want to just introduce yourself? Just let me know who's on the board.
Okay. I'm Robert Hammond. I've lived in Provo my entire life, Oak Hills, and I'm currently in the River Bottoms. I think I was a neighborhood chair the first year they did neighborhood chairs. And then I was out for a while, and then I was an assistant neighborhood chair, and then I became neighborhood chair again. So I've done the program for the old program for about 20 years. But I'm a fan of Provo, and I'm a fan of good development, and you know, that's why I'm here tonight, because I care. So, thank you.
My name's Sharon Memmott, and I've been helping with the neighborhood program for, I don't know how many years. Marion Monahan's the one that roped me into it, and I've loved helping her for several years. I don't know if she's on Zoom or not, but she's been really, really great at just helping, like people have said, with facilitating different developments and things, and just making sure that to protect our neighborhoods. So I've enjoyed it, and I wanted to withdraw my name as the chair.
Oh, okay.
Nominee also,
Okay.
vice chair maybe, but not chair. Yeah, we just really enjoyed being in Provo for, I can't believe, 30 years, if I had to admit it. So,
What neighborhood are you?
oh, I'm sorry, I'm in Edgemont along with Marion.
Hey, Kent, did you want to just introduce yourself as a board member?
Yeah, happy to. Hi, everybody. Kent Johnson. I live in the Edgemont area with my wife and 2-year-old. Work at Qualtrics. Lived in Provo for about 14 years. Just really excited to have this going to a new district.
Hey, Paul.
Paul Warner, I'm a Provo guy too, except we tend to root for Timpview. So, which you all ought to be Timpview. So my wife and I have lived in Provo for about 40 years. We're in the Rock Canyon Indian Hills. We live on Iroquois, but they've got us scheduled. I talked to Rachel a little about it, but we're just delighted to be involved. I worked at BYU for years and years and been involved with a lot of different aspects there. One of my assignments at one time was chaplain for the non-LDS students at BYU, and that was a very fascinating, trying to keep the athletes in tune with the honor code. So that was a challenge. Then I retired from BYU and went to work for the Freedom Festival. So I was executive director of the Freedom Festival for about 13 years and very much enjoyed that association. During that time, I served on the city council. I was a member of the city council for about 8 years. That was 8 years. Totally 8 years. So I enjoyed very much that association. But I'm willing to get involved and do what needs to be done and appreciate this new program. I think Rachel's done a great job. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've never had so many emails.
Sorry.
I just appreciate what Provo represents, really. I'd rather live here than anywhere else. Karen and I talked about this many. Provo is the place to live, and I appreciate being involved with this new district program.
And Laura?
I'm Laura Middleton. I'm in the Rock Canyon neighborhood. I'm here because I believe that we all have a responsibility to be involved in the community, and I'm taking my turn.
Oh, great, thank you. Okay, I think Sharon passed out ballots to everyone. So it's between Stan Jensen and, oh, I'm sorry.
Can I speak for just a couple?
Sure.
30 seconds?
Sure.
I thought we were just doing introductions, but.
Oh,
just
okay.
So people have a quick
Yes.
tradition comparison. First, I like Matt, and he's a good option, so I'm not campaigning against anybody. Just my background, I have practiced law for 20 plus years, clerk for the Texas Supreme Court. Most of what I did was major business transactions and developments. I'm very familiar with codes and city ordinances and how things work. So on the technical end, I'm okay. I don't really have a pro good development or pro development at all. I have what the community wants, the community should get. And I think need to involve them a little more. And so as a chair, I'm not pushing any agenda. I'm just trying to make sure everybody is heard and it's done in a good way. That's attitude. Background.
Oh.
Rachel, online they're saying that Kent Johnson has been nominated, but he's not showing up.
Yeah, because he said, no, thank you.
Oh.
Yes, yeah. So we have between Stan and Matt, hopefully you all have ballots. There's pens up here. So if you're ready to write down your vote.
Well, should we give Matt 30 seconds if Matt wants to speak?
Oh, did Matt need an additional 30 seconds?
We put address or anything, or is it just the name?
Just the name. So you're just gonna vote for either Stan or Matt.
Yeah, I don't know that I need another 30 seconds. I like Stan too, so if he's chair, I'll be vice chair. If I'm chair, I'm sure he'd be willing to be a vice chair. So.
Okay. And we'll go around with blow boxes if you're ready to. Get your votes in.
Sorry.
The online people are wondering how they.
Okay, let me get, I know, I'm sorry, I've got like, yeah, I need to pass that around. I know, I've got a million things going on. I do. Since you're not a nominee. Get these online first. So I'm just marking the last. lines.
No hanging chads.
Okay, so our new chair of District 1 is Stan Jensen. And so now we're going to have an election for vice chair. And so we'll put,
Decide how you want to do that.
so Stan, since you are now chair, you will decide if you want to do 2 separate elections for each vice chair, or if you want to just do 1 election. And if there's multiple people that want to be vice chair, the top 2 are the vice chairs. So do we have any nominations for vice chair?
Could I just
Oh, yes.
vote on that?
Yes.
I would do one election because it's quicker. People want to do one election.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Looks like that's the majority. Let's do one. election.
Okay, awesome. Okay, do we have any? Yes.
So, but we vote for 2. then.
Yes, you'll write down 2 candidates' names.
Yeah.
That's what you meant.
Matt, Will Wright, and Paul Warren.
Okay. Matt, we're gonna make. And. Matt and Paul, do you accept those nominations?
Yes.
Yes, okay, or do we have any other? Oh, I've got one for Kent Johnson. Are you, Kent Johnson, are you okay with vice chair?
Sure.
Okay. Then I also have Karen, are you?
Someone needs to mute this participant.
The doors on the left side will open.
Sharon, you can mute this
The
participant.
fuel line, the shoulder Shinjuku line, the Saito line, the Odakyu line, the Keio line, the Marunouchi subway line, the Shinjuku subway line, and the Boyce subway line.
I know. I can't get off my. screen. I'm sorry, I've got so many.
Be here, you're not.
Oh, there we go.
Shopping list.
Yeah.
Rachel, you have a participant who is talking over the meeting.
I know. My problem is I can't.
You go into participants and mute them.
Okay, let me see if there's any others on. Okay, so we're gonna close nominations.
We got one more.
Oh, I'm sorry, we got one more? Yes,
Laura Middleton.
Laura, Vice Chair? Was that a yes?
It's okay.
That sounded like a very reluctant yes. Why are you muting
You'll
yourself?
have to talk to these- every-
Well, didn't highlight it, but
Come on. Okay, so nominations closed. So you're voting for two. We've got Matt Wheelwright, Sharon Memmott, Kent Johnson, Paul Warner, and Laura Middleton. And the vice chairs just take the place of the chair if the chair is unable to serve, like if they're not there that day.
and we're writing two names, is that correct?
Is that what you wanted, Stan?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah, you want to take those around and you can just.
What?
Hold your hand on the bottom and just walk around. Yes. With me.
So people voting on Zoom just send a direct message to Rachel, correct?
Yes. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm kind of deaf, so maybe I didn't hear, but our votes on Zoom are being
Yes,
counted.
the votes on Zoom are being counted. So Rachel Jones, I got your vote. Yeah,
There's direct messages, I think. That's how we're doing it, correct?
right.
All right,
Lynn
thank you.
Chapman, Miranda, the Wangards, Jerry James, I'm getting all those folks. What do you say? Okay, so for vice chairs, we have Matt and Sharon. Great. Okay, and now we're going to be for secretary. So do we have nominations for secretary? I know, no one wants to be secretary. So the secretary.
It's a whole report thing. Nobody wants to be that.
I know, the secretary takes attendance of the board to make sure that they're coming to the meetings and writes a report.
That's a board person reporting on the board.
Yeah,
Sounds like a conflict of interest.
maybe, we'll have to look at that. And so, and then also keeps track of the votes for, the opinion poll that we'll do like for land use items, kind of writes up a report for the chair to present. Robert? Paul, do you accept the
I'd be
nomination?
happy to do that.
Okay, do we have any other nominations for secretary?
Laura Middleton.
Laura, do you accept that?
You know, I'd be really happy for Paul to do it.
Oh, that sounds good. That'll be really easy. Okay, let me see. Someone, let's see, people are nominating Kent Johnson. Do you? Paul, he says Paul would be great. Paul is really getting a lot of support.
I'm an executive secretary now in my ward, so.
Oh, well, I mean. Okay. Are there any other nominations?
We're gonna vote by raising hands if there's just one person.
Well, I mean,
By
yeah.
acclamation, that's why. If there's any opposed.
Yeah, is there any, yeah. You want to ask if there's any opposed?
Are there any opposed to Paul serving this role? All right.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay,
Well,
so,
again, we'll use them for something else.
yes,
Rachel
thank
has
you
full
very
meetings,
much.
so.
You put their titles up there now and maybe contact info.
Yeah. The contact info is actually on our website.
So maybe show people how to get to them.
Oh, I will definitely show people how to get to that. Let me get. Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate your help on that.
Okay, borrow the pens. Pencil.
Need to get a different setup here. So many windows open. Okay, let me go past these. Oh, hang on. Yeah, and we're done. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, so I'm going to let Stan, as chair, preside over the rest of the meeting. And so I don't know if you have the agenda in front of you or it's right there. So we have our COP officer here. Give us an update.
Yeah, we'll turn time over to the officer.
Sorry, we're a lot deep in conversation. My name is Bryce Lewis. I'm the district officer for your district. I recognize a few people here. But anyway.
Wait, how do you recognize?
Yeah, I can't stay. Might want to leave your, make sure your windows are closed at night. But anyway, I just wanted to just let you guys know that nothing's changed in the police department. We still have neighborhood officers assigned to each neighborhood. Our zones don't exactly match up, our districts with this city plan, but we're gonna reevaluate some things. But anyway, if you guys have any questions or concerns, you can always reach out to me. Yes, ma'am.
So is there more than one for our District 1 or?
Yeah, so all the individual neighborhoods in District 1 still have a neighborhood officer assigned to it. So they each have one. Some of them have two, depending on what the neighborhood is. Yes, sir.
When there's an incident in the neighborhood,
Mhm.
can we call to find out what that was? Because we had 5 cars show up in front of one of
Yeah.
our homes in Sherwood Hills yesterday.
Yeah, you
And
can
it was
call.
like, oh,
You can call dispatch. They might, depend on the type of crime and if it's juvenile or if it's something else, they might not be able to give you a lot of information, but yeah, you can call dispatch and just ask, is it, you know, they can tell you that. Yes, ma'am.
So, Rachel, will you distribute like the different neighborhoods and their exact COP?
Yes,
And that?
they're supposed to give me a new list at the end of the month. They're
We're holding out
updating
until
it.
she pays.
And do you guys give out like an email or a phone number? How does that work?
For each officer? Yeah, it'll be on that. We can get that out. We're knee deep in promotions and transfers right now with the new chief. So every chief that comes in promotes new people and moves people around. So some officers are being pulled from different neighborhoods and some are being replaced. And so we're just trying to catch up. I saw someone else's hand pop up. Yes, sir.
Mine was the same.
Okay.
I have people calling me, I don't know who.
Yeah, if it's happening now, like, don't wait for just call the non-emergency or the emergency, depending on what it is, you know. But usually what happens is those officers should be pulling the stats for those neighborhoods and see those reports. And that's what I do when I come in every Monday, is I destroy my eyesight staring at the computer to monitor, but I look at everybody's cases and stuff in the district. And I try to identify any trends, or sometimes we get a rash of vehicle burgs, or this might surprise you guys. I'm glad you're all sitting down, but around Halloween time, kids steal pumpkins and throw them into mailboxes up in District 1. But you know, we look for those trends. I look for those trends, and I'm excited for these meetings because I can feed that back to you guys. If we have a rash of vehicle birds up there, I can kind of remind people through you guys to make sure you don't leave valuables in your car and lock your doors, those types of things.
So what neighborhood do you have?
I'm district, well, I was the old district one. So I, anything north of 500 North and Grandview and Northeast. So that's my area right now. So I'm not sure if we're gonna move our, so around to match your guys's.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a big cage battle. between the people around.
What's your first name again?
Bryce.
Bryce.
Yep, like the canyon.
Now, Officer Lewis, we had a request that the board members volunteer to be a neighborhood contact for the neighborhood officers.
Oh, cool.
Is that something
Yeah.
that you would like? And so so if you're the only one representing your neighborhood, you'll be the neighborhood contact. But if you have two representing your neighborhood, like Paul and Laura for Rock Canyon can decide who will be the neighborhood contact for the neighborhood officer. So they kind of have one person there in the neighborhood that they can go to. And we'll get that information to you once
Yeah,
we
yeah,
get that figured out.
all new programs. Does anyone have any other questions for me? Made it easy for me. All right, well, good luck.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Next, we'll hear from the Provo School District. Quick update from Lisa Boyce.
All right, do I have to stand behind the line? Okay. First, just to introduce myself, I'm your new school board member. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to serve. I have spent the last few months really talking in people's homes with large groups of neighbors and hearing from you. And right now, the most important thing I think on the minds of the school board is that we are in the process of hiring a new superintendent. We've had Keith Rattel with us for 10 years. Is that right, Jennifer? It's been 11 years. And now is a key time as we're hiring to be hearing from you. So I'm going to just give you a quick update on that hiring process and then happy to answer any questions. I'll just give you an overview of the timeline and what we're doing. The first thing before we actually post that position is we're trying to gather as much input from you and all of the neighbors in the city of Provo right now around what are you hearing? What are your concerns? Where do you see opportunities for growth? What do we need in a leader for Provo? Provo is so lucky, even though it comes with a few challenges or opportunities for growth, to be its own school district. I think it's remarkable, and I think it's really important for us to make sure that as we're hiring, we hire someone who's a fit for Provo. So the first step right now, we've hired Y2 Analytics, who have sent out a survey to all of Provo, randomly selecting different neighborhoods to make sure they'll get enough responses on that. If they don't, they'll go out and reach for more, and they're going to be gathering data in that way through that survey. And that will come to residents online. But for everyone, there's an opportunity to meet in person.
All residents or parents?
All residents. That goes to all stakeholders. If you're paying property taxes, you'll be in at least the field of people from whom they'll choose to send that out. Then on Monday, February 6th, Tuesday, February 7th in Spanish, and Wednesday, February 8th, we'll be holding stakeholder input meetings at public schools. Those are posted on the Provo City's website. I can tell you right now where they're being held. Monday, the 6th, from 6:30 to 7:30 at Rock Canyon Elementary School. So if that's in your neighborhood, that's the closest one to most of you. We would love you to come that night. They'll give you a presentation on the process and some information, and then there will be either small group settings where you can give input directly, or there'll be a thing you can scan if you would rather do it anonymously online and send your thoughts in that way.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the date?
Yep, Monday, February 6th, from 6:30 to 7:30 in the Rock Canyon Media Center.
Thank you.
Yep. Tuesday is in Spanish only at the Timpanogos Media Center. And that same time, and Wednesday at Provo High, there will be another opportunity. So if one of those works for you and you can come in person, we really need to inform and make sure that we craft sort of what we're looking for and what we're hiring towards as a reflection of all of you. That's where that information should be coming from. So whether you have a child or grandchild in these schools, or you are living in this community, running a business, investing in Provo, you need to give your input of what you think will help set the vision, because this is a really key time also for Provo School District, I think, to be defining what is our strategic vision, what are our priorities, what policies do we need to have right now to make sure that we are protecting and encouraging the right kinds of things to be taught in schools, and to allow our kids all the opportunities that they need to all be learners in safe environments. So we need to hear from you. We want to hear from you. The position will open officially at the end of February. I think it's February 27th right now. It will close on March, I think it's also the 27th. And then that week prior to spring break, there will be citizens chosen from Provo who will go through the process of looking at them and screening applicants, as well as we've hired a consultant from the Utah School Board Association. And by the time we get home from spring break, we will be reviewing and interviewing with the intention to announce the new superintendent by the 1st of May. So that position, which begins officially the 1st of July, there will be time for onboarding and orienting, and budgets come approved right at the beginning, right as June and July hit. So we need them in there with us, strategically engaged right away with directing our school forward in the right way. Any questions about that process? Input, ideas? It's not too late. Tell us anything. Yeah.
I just have one question.
Yeah.
It's so wide open. I don't have a good idea of like what type of characteristics or issues are you starting to see, or what types of things might people be emphasizing when they provide input?
Well, I haven't seen input from stakeholders yet because the survey just started, but I've heard a lot of input from stakeholders as I've talked with people. I know people are concerned about curriculum and what we're teaching and what policies are in place around our curriculum choices with schools. And people are concerned about the partnership between parents, students, and teachers in educating our kids. I've heard a lot of people concerned about what are we doing around social and emotional learning in our schools? Whose job is what piece of that? And then really student achievement. The most important thing in some ways, right? The public school has a mandate for student achievement and growth. And how are we doing with that? And are we removing barriers to access for the students who need those removed? Provo has a lot of Title I schools, and those schools are significantly impacted relative to other communities. It was interesting to me as I started looking and really diving into our Provo data. We most closely resemble Ogden School District in terms of economic impact. And we don't really pick Ogden as our sister city in Utah. I don't mean that offensive. I'm just saying, if you look around, you're like, I think we're just like Alpine, or I don't anyway. So to me, to see that level of impact and need, and then to see what our schools are trying to do, it's a huge job. And so far, I'm just here learning as much as I can. I'm happy to share everything I learned with you. And I'm also unafraid to go in with any question. I have taken every question someone asked me while I was campaigning. If I didn't know it, straight to Keith. Keith and I are friends now, I think, and also to other members of his office there, as well as the local schools. And I have found people willing to sit down, turn their monitor around, let me log in and look at the things I'm concerned about, listen to my point of view. And I think that is something that we can improve and even get better at with all of you. But so far, what I know is that we need to be focused on student achievement. We need to be looking at, our stewardship for these children, and are we teaching what we should be teaching in our schools? Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. And like I said, those opportunities to really come in and let the people who are gathering the data and then going to sit down and present that with all of us, share that with us. I will be there all 3 nights as an observer because I really want to hear what people have to say. So. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Jennifer Partridge, who's talk about kindness, although you're associated with the school board a little bit. I think.
I am on the school board, but my other gig, I guess you could say, is I'm the founder of Provo Kindness. And it said I can't share the screen. I know. Okay. Anyway, I know we're short on time, so I'll try and be quick. Maybe we won't worry about it. But so kindness, Provo Kindness, which has started as a grassroots effort to help us all just reach out a little bit more, get to know people better, recognize that our differences are also what make us great, and how can we build on those differences instead of letting those separate us or divide us. We are on social media, so Facebook and Instagram. If you search Provo Kindness, you can follow us, and we share quotes, we share ideas, reminders, challenges, spotlights of community members. And then we have an annual kindness week. We're about to have our 3rd annual kindness week. Is it? That's okay. I brought a few flyers if you'd like. You can also find it on our social media and on provokindness.org. But February 13th through the 18th, we're going to have a kickoff event at Centennial Middle School on Monday the 13th. BYU Noteworthy will be there performing. We'll have free crumbles cookies. It's a family event, but it's not just for kids. It's for our entire community. And we'll go into more details about the kindness quest that we're going to have that week. If you complete the quest, which is just a series of a few challenges, and you get to select which ones you want to do, you can choose a free t-shirt, a free yard sign, which I think Rachel's about to talk about in a minute, or one of these stickers that say kindness starts here.
What time is it?
That is 7 p.m. for the kickoff. And then Thursday of that week on the 16th, we also have a 7 p.m. event. It's called Community Conversations. And it's an opportunity to come together, to sit in a small group with other people that maybe you're meeting for the first time, but we talk about some community things that help us understand better where other people are coming from. And it's really cool to get to know other people that way. And you get a free gift just for coming to that. And we'll have you register on our website because we have limited space on that. And then Saturday at the rec center in the multi-purpose room from 10 to noon, we have a closing fun event. And that's where you can come pick up your gift for participating. And then throughout the week, as you do the challenges, if you log them on the app that we're encouraging you to use or on our social media, you're entered to win gift cards to local businesses, and all that information is on provokindness.org. So, and like I said, I'll leave a few of these. Any questions? Well, I'm done. If you want to look at my pictures, I'll be here when you need me. And then did you have a video you wanted to show? Okay.
So
And
have
then-
you noticed a real difference because of the program in terms of what's happened in different places? Is there any?
That is a
data
great
that-
question. We got started in January of 2020, and our committee was like, we should take a survey of what our needs are and work with the city. And then COVID hit, and they were like, we can't do anything like that right now. So we didn't really have a metric of what to start with. That could be something we could look into though and see if the cities notice anything different. I do notice, especially every year during Kindness Week, there's just a really cool feel and excitement. We try to do it during the doldrums of winter to help cheer everybody up. And I would like to see more people on our social media, because a week is just a week. And it can do a good for that week, but if that's all we're doing, it's not enough. And kindness is more than service, right? It's more than just taking the cookies to the neighbors, as much good as that is. It's also about our attitudes towards one another. And I think that's something we all need to constantly be checking ourselves on. And so I hope we can continue to get more people following what we're doing on a continual basis to help all of us improve a little bit on that. So, okay, thank you.
And this is a little video from what one of the other neighborhoods did during Kindness Week.
Kindness Week is an opportunity to pause and think about all the good that surrounds us, the kind and gracious people that live around us, work to support and build our community. Provo has Kindness Week each year, and the city's neighborhood coordinator let all of the neighborhood chairs know that she has some extra kindness night. And so our neighborhood committee decided to pick up 4 signs, one for each member, with which we could nominate someone in our neighborhood about thanking them for the kindness that they had shown. week had ended, and this ended up going on for several months. We were surprised and delighted by the interest in this project. We typed up a little explanation about what we were doing that explained to the person who received the sign in their yard what this was all about, and explained that they could post the sign for a period of time and then choose to nominate another neighbor. They would be able to then post the sign in that neighbor's yard and put a picture and an explanation on Facebook if they desired about why they nominated that neighbor. This ended up lighting a fire in the neighborhood, and it was so fun to see all of the posts and the many comments below the posts about why people appreciated that particular neighbor, and the many other residents who chimed in and responded with their own expressions of gratitude and thanks. We were delighted for this opportunity that was free and easy and allowed us all to pause and think about the goodness and the generosity that surrounds us. I love seeing just how much excitement this generated, and I was surprised at how much participation there actually was. It was heartwarming and sustaining to see so many examples of generosity and kindness spread throughout our neighborhood.
Okay, so I don't know if you could hear that very well, but so what they did is they had a kindness sign and they would put it in someone's yard and then post on Facebook why they thought this person was kind, like this person always helps me out, and it would be in their yard. And then that person took that sign, put it in someone else's yard and posted on Facebook why they thought that person was kind. And it just kept going. And it went on for quite a few months. It started Kindness Week and they ended up doing it for, I think, 3 or 4 months, just going throughout the neighborhood. So if any of the neighborhoods are interested, I do have kindness signs for each of the neighborhoods that have a representative here. If they decide they want to do that in their neighborhood, just start it there and you can post it in your neighborhood group, or I'm going to have kindness posts on the district page where you can comment with pictures or something about someone in your neighborhood that you think is especially kind.
Rachel, do you have the explanation on the back of them?
I don't. It was something they had just done, and I'm not sure exactly how they wrote it up. Yeah.
I can volunteer our Provo Kindness Committee to make one if you would like.
Oh, okay, that'd be great. Yeah, so if you want to pick up a sign, and then we'll get that information to you to put a little like instruction sheet on the back.
So I guess our next topic is the land use discussion by Douglas Nielson.
Okay, and he is here. We did have a request, Aaron Ardmore, really quick. We had a request to have a planner explain why some planning applications have to go before a neighborhood and some don't. And so he's going to explain really quick kind of why a general plan amendment would, but say a minor project plan wouldn't.
Sure. So I'm Aaron Ardmore. I'm one of the city planners here. You may have seen me at one of the public hearings. So things that are legislative, like a rezone, ordinance text amendment, street vacation, general plan amendment, those are things that are required to go to neighborhood meetings. So you'll always see those. Other things like project plans, conditional use permits, minor project plans, variances, those are things that aren't required to go to the neighborhood meeting. The neighborhood committee, district chair can ask that those be brought to the neighborhood for discussion. And really the idea behind all of these, whether they're required or not, is to get feedback, neighborhood feedback. Each one of these, we're going to be taking polls just to get kind of feelings of those that came out and reasons why. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that's
So
that.
as you say legislative, though, that means that it's going to go to city council at some point.
Correct.
Where if it's not legislative, it may or may not need to go to the planning commission.
Yes, some go to the planning commission, larger projects, commercial projects of 3 acres or more or residential projects of 20 units or more, go to planning commission. If they're not that large, planning commission has deferred those to administrative hearing typically. However, things that have some controversy or concerns with them, we typically take the planning commission anyway. So
Conditional use permits.
conditional use permits typically go to administrative hearing, again, unless they are, there's a few listed in the code, like dance halls and things like that, that have to go to the planning commission.
Drug rehab homes.
Or any that have any kind of controversy, so we'll take the planning commission as well. Just to
Anything
get
20
that
units or
bigger
more
audience.
goes to planning commission.
I'm sorry?
Anything 20 units or more goes to planning commission.
Yes, automatically.
On that, yeah.
The reason for that distinction between administrative and legislative, and whether or not it goes to a neighbor meeting, is that legislative requests, the city has a lot of discretion as to whether they want to approve that or deny it. An administrative request, the city has very little discretion. If the applicant meets the requirements of the code, it would be illegal for the city to turn it down. And that's why there's that distinction in that process.
Thank you. That's Bill, the director. Don't start this. No, start on them. Okay. Thank you, Rachel.
Okay, thank you. And now we'll turn time over to our applicant.
I want to mention, Rachel, that one cool thing about this now is that Aaron or someone will be here when the developers come. Because a lot of these meetings have been to people ask questions, you know, and we don't know the right answer, right? We don't have the professional here to answer the question. So it's going to be awesome now with these regular meetings that where there aren't so many, that there will be a developer here to, or a planner to explain the nuances of questions you might have about parking or something.
Turn around so you can see standing at
I
it.
beg your pardon?
Would you like to turn around so you can see standing at it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening. Let me introduce myself. Doug Nielson, applicant tonight. Tell you a little bit about myself. I moved to Orem in 1977. At my first job, I worked with Gary Stott, Gerald Wilson, and Alan Young, attorneys, as a young attorney. And I've been here ever since. I've been driving from Orem to Provo for almost every weekday for the last 45 years. And my office is here in Provo. In 1983, we started to develop Jamestown Square office complex west of the subject property, 3,300 north to 3,500 north, 3,700 north. And in 1985, January of 85, my law firm moved into Jamestown Square, second tenant. And I've been there ever since. My office is now on the east side of the street. In '94, we started to develop the courtyard of Jamestown on the east side of the street. We built the courtyard at Jamestown Assisted Living, the courtyard at Jamestown Retail Center, and the courtyard at Jamestown Office Complex. Now we have about 2.5 acres remaining, and I'm really excited. We want to expand the courtyard of Jamestown, and I'll show you the sketch prepared by Rick Kennetender. Some of you may know Rick. He was on the planning commission. He's been around for a long time, and I feel like I'm really aged. Ken Harris is our architect. He's my age, older than me. Roger Dudley is our engineer, and he's been around forever. So we're a moldy old group that we've come out of hiding. And anyway, if I can.
Have you requested to share?
Yeah, share screen. I have my people do most of this kind of stuff, but I thought I could handle it tonight, and I'm still hoping for that to happen. Okay, now, yes. This should be up there. So. Everybody see that? Not high enough. So I've yeah, this worked before. I clicked share screen, and then I hit my my file, and it shows on my screen. I wonder why it won't show on yours. Anybody know how
It's
to
normally there's
correct
a
that?
thing pops up saying someone wants to share screen. That's another question.
These are some of the buildings that we want to build. This is a view from University Avenue.
So this is the land ready to any request, like where.
You know where Solicious is?
Yep.
Just north, that vacant piece right there.
Right.
Yeah.
So this large building on the right.
Yes.
is the storage facility. you're
Yes,
proposing?
this is self-storage. 50,000 square foot self-storage building. This is a retail with 3 shops, and I'll have drive-up windows on either side. On the rear, the 100 East. This is the rear of the storage facility. Here. And there's a portico, very similar to the portico that we built at the courtyard at Jamestown Assisted Living Community. Drive under, and you can load and unload your storage possessions. Next to it, we have 6 townhome units. We propose to build these townhome units because the retail center is only so much depth, and so we have land remaining in the back, and so we wanted to utilize that. We do have other residential rental properties around the valley, and so we'll just incorporate it into that company.
And so the driveways for those facilities are on the back side?
Yes, and what I'll do, I'll show you the site plan. But again, I don't know how to get it up there. Is anybody?
I don't know why
Is it showing on yours?
I'm not getting your share request.
Okay.
Just bonus.
Let's just try.
Click over your-
Yeah, okay. So here's, okay, so here we are. Then I put share screen. Okay.
Oh, the
Then
documents?
I lift
Oh, is
up
that what
my,
it's showing? Okay.
I think you have to share it, yeah. Press there.
and here's the, are you trying to put this up? Because she has a copy. Okay, now see,
Says you're sharing the screen, but it's not up there.
yeah, your screen is sharing.
I have to close PowerPoint or whatever you're using,
Yeah, we close.
or just minimize it so.
It is sharing on Zoom. We can't see it.
You can see it?
Yes, yes.
On Zoom, they can. So you just need to grab hold of that Zoom window and slide it over.
So it's your fault.
There we go. That's always the go-to.
Press escape, maybe that'll drop that.
Minimize or close.
Now go to your zoom over your Zoom icons there.
There we go. There we go. Can work? No.
Yeah, you just need to slide it over. You've got your screen is extended.
Yeah.
You can either duplicate it, push the Windows button and the letter P.
This thing that connects to my device is right behind this line.
If you just push the Windows button and the letter P at the same time, hold it down and push P. And then right here, you can just change it so that it's.
Okay, good. Now, why don't we, let's back up, Rachel, and go back to the Rick's drawing here.
Be careful, you lose it.
I know, let's see, I'm scrolling over here. Where is it? I've lost one already. Nope.
What are you looking for?
It's one of my files that has the
There we go.
rendering of the building. Okay, well, let's go with this one then. This has been tweaked. The architect wasn't able to get an updated one, but we've made a couple of changes. Is there a little pointer that, or anything? You have a little laser or anything like that?
I do not.
Okay. Okay, I'll just point out, this has been updated based on comments from the CRC report. For example, that this landscape strip is going to be pulled over to here. We have a wider space here, 17 feet instead of 10. And we have, see what else? So we have.
Mr. Nielson?
Yeah.
Okay, this should work. If you hit the red
Oh,
button.
appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Red button. On top there. Yeah, okay. There's a 10-foot landscape strip right through here, but otherwise, okay, so you'll see this is the storage facility, and this is our materials board, and the entire exterior stuff here is that.
Raise this higher.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the construction will be identical to the buildings that we have in place. Okay, so the townhomes, and I wish I could get that back up here. I think what I did with that. Well, I can't get it because I have to go outside of it. But anyway, I'll show you right here. The materials are going to be very similar to the existing buildings. We'll have the clay brick on all the exterior walls. And we'll have a black roof. We originally built the buildings with cedar shingles, and the insurance companies are not fond of those anymore. So we replaced all the roofs at Jamestown Square with a black composite, and that's what we would use with black roofs. And then you see the trim. This is a color. It's Old Virginia. We're still tweaking the colors, but it'll be something similar. And then we take a darkened dyed mortar And it gives us a nice look with the ivory color, and then there's the strap around the side. And then you see that you get, you see the relief in the front of the building. So it does provide some variation and some interest. Okay. Now, this is the retail building. This is a brick we're looking at right now. We're working with Interstate Brick. The brick that we want to use has a little bit of a rose tint to it, and they don't make it anymore. They said this order would be large enough that they could gear up and make the brick for us, but we're working on that. We don't have a sample of it, but anyway, it's going to be somewhere in that neighborhood of both these buildings.
I have one question. It may actually be for the planner. The aspect of this that you're looking for input on is the rezoning to residential of the piece, or do you need approval also of the commercial stuff? Because it is zoned commercial right now. So I'm
Yes.
trying to understand what input you want from us and which aspect.
What happened to our?
You minimized it someplace.
Oh, I minimized it. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay.
What was it, Eric, that were?
Yeah, now this piece right here, this line, this is currently zoned PO, professional office. And we want that to be rezoned to low density residential, 12 units per acre. And this is a half-acre piece. Again, this is an approximation. We tweaked those lines a little bit. We had to move this parking bank down this way, and in order to make room for that lane, that landscape strip there. And as far as the parking, we're required to have 2.25 stalls per condo unit. We have 2 with each unit. Those are garages. And then we have 6 stalls here. So we have 18 stalls, and I think we're required to have 13.5. Okay.
Can you orient us to what's around this? Like,
This is University Avenue right here. And if you're acquainted with our retail center, Sodelicious is right where my light is. Sodelicious. Assisted living is right here.
So this is the duplexes north of.
Yeah, these are duplexes. Yeah. Okay. So these are the townhomes.
And will that parking hook up with the Sodalicious parking?
Yes, that was one of the factors in deciding to do the storage unit. We've looked at a lot of different uses for this land over the years. We've had it since 2007, prior to my partners. And we only need 4 parking stalls under the Provo City Code for this storage unit. There's very little traffic that this would generate in the neighborhood, much less than an office project would be. Yeah. So if you have an on-site apartment, then you need 6 parking stalls. We're not going to have an on-site. We're not going to have a live-in manager. But you can see we provided much more. The reason we wanted to do that, we wanted to provide more overflow parking for our retail center. Because like I say, we're in with this retail center for the long run, and we want to provide adequate parking. That is a big issue with me personally. All of our parking stalls are a full 9 feet wide, and they're double striped. And people have told us over the years, our realtors have told us that people appreciate that. So we want to have, and then we have, so we only need 4 stalls for this. And for this one, I forget the number, but we have all the stalls that we need right there. And this will be additional spillover parking for employee parking or whatever. So we're way over parked on this project. Now, in the back, and that's what's so unique and positive about this site, is that to reach the back, now we won't have any drive-up storage stalls. They're all interior. And we don't have to provide a drive, which would take away from the available landscaping by having access to 100 East Street.
Is that storage accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Is it only accessible during business hours, 8 to 5?
You know, as I was getting ready for this meeting this afternoon, that question came to my mind. I said, somebody's going to ask that question, and I don't know the answer.
You were right.
And we're working on an arrangement with Public Storage to manage this facility for us. They're the largest in the world, and they will tell us. I mean, they've done a study for us in addition to the study, and I'm going to show you the study we had prepared. But they've done, they basically are going to tell us how to do all this stuff. And I don't know if it's 24 hours or not. I've never asked them that
I
question.
mean, for the residential people up there, I would hope that as night comes, that everything calms down rather than people coming and dropping stuff constantly throughout the night to the storage unit.
And the thing you're going to see is you're just not going to see that much. Again, that's why you only have 4 public parking stalls required. There's just not much traffic here. This thing is not going to be a traffic generator. Yeah. Go ahead, Robert.
This is my neighborhood,
Yes.
as you know.
Yeah.
Some of the questions that came up, and maybe the city can help, is the Lover's Lane path. Where is that across the street from 100 East? Or
So
where
we're
is
on
it?
the edge of
It's behind.
We're not impacted.
So it's clear back.
Yeah, it's out this time.
It's by the hill.
So as you mentioned, public storage, I know when I've seen them, they have large orange signs. Are they all right with what the rules are for monument signs in the area?
Yeah. I'll tell you the history about that. The reason they have those big windows that you see through and you see the doors, and you'll see that in a lot of public, a lot of storage facilities. It has nothing to do with the marketing. That has kind of evolved in the industry. The developers think we need to let everybody know it's a storage facility, so you need to have those windows so they can see the storage doors. The reason they started doing that, putting all the glass, is that planning commissions, city councils didn't like a big storage building with no windows and just bland. And so they started putting in the windows. And so someone came up with the idea that, well, that would be great. Then there's no question that passersby will know that it's a storage facility. But talking to public storage, they don't care. They don't think that does anything any more than you've got a dentist office in there. You see what I'm saying? You have the address and you have a sign there. You're going to be able to see. You're going to see if it's Maggie's Fresh or whatever. You're going to be able to see. So anyway, that's the idea. And so, and then, like I say, so I don't have an answer to your question, but I understand what you're saying. I don't have the answer.
Is the storage unit two levels?
Three
levels.
Now, we did, those are not all actual operating windows. We don't want a lot of windows. And just the architect, Ken Harris.
Right, I'm just asking if I take my boxes in.
It's a 3-story inside.
There's an elevator, I would assume.
Two elevators side by side, and then there are 3 levels of parking, or 3 levels of storage units, and there'll be about 450 cubicles.
And I'm sorry, we had a different group, as you know, present this to us at one time.
Yes.
And we talked to them about the height of the building and possibly having the first level a little bit down in the ground so the building wasn't so immense. And I don't know if are all 3 levels above ground, or is there?
Yes, but if you can see, if you have the ability to pick up a street view, I could do that on that Google Earth street view. We are down off of University. We're down.
Right.
There's about a 9-foot drop from the highway down to that level. Where the shovelicious is, you'll notice that's down low. And we're starting at that level and it's just gonna be a straight shot up to 3470 north. So we're gonna be, at least from University Avenue, it's gonna be down. And then in the back, of course, it'll be the full.
How is the height compared to the assisted living center as far as the top of the building?
It's gonna be about, not quite as tall.
No,
as
so
assisted living, but it'll be 35 feet at the edge of the rafters. That's the code. And then above that, it's just parapets. It's a flat roof at this level right here. And then it's parapets above that. It's not occupiable space, so it doesn't count as height. But we've taken steps to, we want to be a good neighbor. We're here. And we've taken steps by making this very nice. The front is going to be, the back is going to be just as nice as the front. It'll be a replication. And this will be nice. And it'll be landscaped. And this area will all be landscaped. And it's not going to be higher than an office building could have been under the PO zone that exists. See what I'm saying? So we're not doing anything more than we could do in a PO zone. So just some, let's see, I've got to get
Question. What's the zoning on this now? Is it LDR or is it commercial or?
the back, it's two zones. The back portion, the line is right about here. The back portion is PO and the front portion is SSC, same zone as the retail.
As the strip mall that
is a strip mall
on the south side.
Yeah, when we were developing the strip mall, the city wrote a brand new zone called specialty support commercial. There was a lot of input from the neighbors and there was a lot of concern from the neighbors. I think, Robert, you were probably involved in that process. And so the city came up with a specialty support commercial and it had, you'll notice, we're way back off the street. There's 45 feet of landscaping. So we're using a lot of resources and a lot of expense to keep that landscaping. But that was what the city wanted to do with this new zone.
That's the front side, and then what's the back side?
Front side.
The zoning of the back side?
PO, professional office in the back.
Okay.
And will that parking be connected?
Oh, that was, yeah, the other question. Yeah, and that's one of the things that is important to me. We don't want our retail to be blocked off. We want free flow so that traffic. So if you want to visit H&R Block or whatever, you're coming in this way, you can just come right here, straight through here. Same, that'll be a continuous. Now with So Delicious, we're widening this out because we've got a little bit of a traffic debacle there. If you bought your fix of refined sugar and cookies, then. But we're widening that out, so there'll be 3 full lanes. And yeah.
And did you say the retail is going to have drive-ins on either end?
Yeah, both sides.
Do you know who your occupants are yet, the tenants?
I beg your pardon? Do we know who the tenants
I'm
are going
very
to be?
excited about the retail.
No, we've only talked to one person. That was just per chance. I was in a subway and the guy that had the franchise, it was very clean. It's not one here. They're all nice, but this is a really nice one. So I asked the manager, I said, who owns this franchise? And I was able to be put in touch with the franchise owner because I thought it was a really well-run subway. And I just said, hey, we're doing this. Do you have any interest? He says, yeah. He said, we don't have anything in that quadrant of the city and we're 100%. He said, you can count on us. And there are a number, our realtors, we have, what's the name of our real estate firm? They keep changing their name, Colliers, yeah. And they say it's a no-brainer. There are a lot of companies that would like to come in with the drive-ups.
Well, I'm sure a lot of your clients will be the assisted living center for that storage.
Yeah, the assisted living, and I'm going to get this study out. I just want to pull a couple of things.
Aaron, just to clarify, everything other than the residential is per current.
No, so like you said, the back half is, the east half is professional office zone. So there'd be two rezones. There'd be the PO zone to LDR, and there'd be a PO zone to SSC, the south part of this property.
But functionally, in terms of the building massing and heights and things, is that different?
Not too much different. SSC is actually more restrictive than the PO. The SSC is only existing kind of in this corridor of University Ave. It's the only place in the city that we have that zone. So it's not anything greater in scope or scale.
This a feasibility study was done by Cutting Edge Self-Storage Development owned by Stephen Ross. And he spent 30 years with Extra Space Storage, which is a Utah company, one of the largest companies in the country, but they started there in Salt Lake, guy by the name of Ken Woolley. And Steve worked for them and went into semi-retirement. He and his family have a theater in Murray, a live theater. And that's kind of their love. And then he does these reports, and he does them all over the country. He's busy. And all the local bankers respect Steve Ross, and he's a really professional. He really understands the business. But to kind of give you an idea, and I expected that there would be some resistance from storage because everybody has a preconceived notion of what storage would be. And we look at industrial area, we look at all the asphalt, and all the drive up, all the cars, that kind of thing. I just want to quote a couple of things that Steve said. In the past, self-storage was most often thought of as an option for industrial business only. Today, self-storage is actually utilized more for retail or residential use and is more accurately considered as a retail business. Choosing a self-storage site on a major arterial is beneficial to both residents and businesses in the immediate neighborhood. High visibility to drive-by traffic also contributes significantly to the success of a self-storage facility, with drive-by still being the #1 reason people state as how they found a facility, and internet now being a close second. A recent nationwide survey demonstrated how popular self-storage has become. The survey reported that 10% of the population is currently using some kind of self-storage. 22% have recently used self-storage. Another 15% have used self-storage at some time in the past. That's 47% of the population has had some connection. Okay, there's currently the demand for 318,357 square feet of self-storage in our targeted area, which has been determined to be a 2-mile radius, from this facility, 318,000. Now that's based on the national average. There are 5.71 square foot of self-storage for each person in this country. In Utah, that number is 8.85. Utah has the highest ratio of self-storage per person than any state in the union. Can you believe that? And we are collectors of stuff. Maybe it's a cultural thing. So if you use our Utah standard, there's a demand for 518,000 square feet, and we're only proposing 50,000. So what we're proposing is a project that will look just like our office buildings. We're over parking it. We will landscape it. We will take care of it. We've been here. As I indicated, I've been here forever, plan to stay. And we have pride in it. And we're just not here to turn it and move on and make a profit. Something that we're very interested in, and we have a personal pride associated with it. The success of a self-storage facility is based on the following factors: location, demographics and traffic counts, visibility, management, security, accessibility, curb appeal, appearance, and building structure.
Did you say the townhomes would be for rent, not for purchase?
What's that?
The townhomes, will it be for rent or purchase?
They're for rent. Yeah. That could change, but that's our plan right now, for rent. These are just 6 of them. A good design, landscaping, color combinations, cleanliness, and maintenance of the grounds contribute to the general overall appearance of your facility. A well-maintained facility gives the tenant a feeling of security and peace of mind that their goods will be kept in a clean, safe manner, perceived to be professional and competent. So we're not here to create an industrial project. This is a retail business. The self-storage business is retail. And there's a trend towards smaller homes. There have been over 1,000 apartment units built in our neighborhood, in this area, within the last few years. Up at the mall, those apartments, there's 500 up there. The Harrison, the Horn family, they just built that apartment building up on the University. And PEG built 250 apartments just south of the river.
Can I interrupt for just a sec? We've got a comment or two online asking what exactly is being approved. And I kind of asked the question earlier, but I'm not sure we really got the answer. Is the approval being sought for the townhome area rezoning or something else? Or
So yeah, so what's on the agenda tonight
Yep.
is kind of feedback and a poll for the rezone and I believe the general plan amendment.
Right.
and those both just affect that area in the upper right.
So it
Or
affects
do they
both of
affect
these.
something else?
So this half of the property is zone PO.
Yeah.
So that corner will have to be rezoned to LDR and this section will have to be rezoned to SSC to match the zoning out here.
Okay,
So
so
all
there's
of,
two
all of this L, if you will, is would be SSC with the rezone, and this would be LDR in the corner.
So the special office zone would be going away. So the special office zone is being replaced by LDR and SSC.
Okay.
But that is closest to University Avenue is already.
It's
SSC.
already, is already a specialty.
So we're talking about the rezoning of the back half of the property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you said, the SSC has actually more, covenants is the wrong word, but more restrictions.
It's more design restricted than the professional office zone. They match on building height, but it's definitely more restricted as far as.
That's what
design.
I proposed SSC, and I made that fit. I think I don't know if I mentioned to Aaron or
So-
Dwight, or no, what's the Wright's name? Dustin, yeah.
Yeah, so those are the things that are in front of you, this neighborhood group today.
And how are we going to gather that information or what do we?
So
what's
the
endpoint
idea
there?
of this, correct me if I'm wrong, Rachel, is to do a brief presentation and then to get feedback and then to do essentially a poll for numbers for and against.
Clarification, is LDR restricted to 2-story,
It is restricted to 30 feet.
30 feet?
Yeah, so
We're under that.
typically a townhome is a 2.5 story product and
These are-
the
these are
density
two-story.
is taken care of already because he's only doing a half acre, so he'd be restricted to the 6 units.
So just for reference, your single family zone, the height is 35 feet. The LDR zone is 30.
Yeah, these are they're 2-story.
Okay, and we have some questions. So the back is currently zoned for office space and they want it to housing and retail. Is that correct?
Correct,
And
but
they're-
specifically matching the retail that we already have in the area, so not general retail.
Yeah, this is, if you could do the site plan.
And they're also wondering
This is
how
all
they enter the
SSC.
storage units.
This is all SSC and this is all SSC. And all we're asking is to take this and close it in here. So this is SSC right now. We're so SSC.
Okay, and how do you enter the storage units is what they're wondering. Is
Okay,
it
you
through
can-
here?
You can enter from the front. You can park anywhere here. Or if you're unloading, you drive in here, park here, and this is all covered for rain and sun. So if you're loading, you'll have carts, there'll be steel doors, secured, high security, and this will be
high security, all cameras. And so it'll be surveilled. And again, public storage, again, with their experience, they know how to handle that. So you park right here, you drive in, there'll be twin elevators. And you come in with carts, unload, come back.
Yeah, I think it's, that's for final questions or final questions.
This is just probably a comment. This was present, I was the neighborhood chair for this, and we had a similar. I'm curious, is the Jamestown, are they still proposing one for their property?
Expansion.
They came and met with us and said they were going to the city.
The retirement village?
Yes.
Yes, they are still pursuing that
They
phase
want
2 expansion.
a storage unit too.
No, it would be.
Because that's what
it'd be
they presented
independent.
to us.
They're, right now, they're proposing independent living as a phase 2 to their project.
On the property that's out there.
Yes.
So yeah, and we have,
Southeast.
those guys are friends, the Bentons, that they're friends. In fact, I got to know them before they approached me years ago, wanting to buy the property. Said it would never be for sale, but you know, we got to know them and have some common background. And then when we decided to make the sale, I called them up. I said, you know, this is what you want us to do. Let's talk. You think that's true? So there were 30 companies expressed interest, and we dealt with them. And I had commissioned my study before they had come to your neighborhood meeting, and I mentioned that to them. And Everett said, "Doug, we're not going to stand in your way to do that if you want to do that." So that's news to me that they've moved down, and they'll do better. I think they'll do better with what they're doing there. That business is really doing well. I think, aren't the other guys up the street, aren't they in that they applied for an expansion? Yeah.
Well, the only feedback that I would give them is from those meetings on the Jamestown storage unit. Biggest concerns were that the buildings looked like Jamestown. Now, they had window-looking facades, so they looked like an office building or a care center. And that the back of the building was also nice for the people who live in back of it. And so I guess what I'm expressing is it seems like you've tried to do that, Doug. And then what I see here, those met the concerns of, oh, good.
That's the side.
Okay.
Looking from so delicious.
But it
And
looks
then
like
this is
you
your
addressed
portico right there.
that. And the third thing was that there would be no outside entrances into the storage units, so they would have to come through a central, coming in. So it wasn't like a typical roll up the door kind of storage.
Yeah, with all the asphalt. No,
So-
it'll be landscaped right up to the building.
From the concerns that were in the past on that type of thing, it looks like you've done a lot to meet those concerns.
So do we know enough, Stan, to have the
I
comments
think
to
so. What, we're looking for what type of thing? A poll that they support, don't support, or abstain
Yeah,
from voting
A
on?
poll of support for the rezone and the general plan.
So support, rezone, don't support. And if you put don't support, do you want any explanation of that or?
I think it's helpful
Okay, if-
for the applicant and for staff as we get towards the staff report to note any concerns.
Well, they will mention any of the concerns for that at the council meeting, so like we'll get to look at it.
Okay,
Yeah, we can just do raise of hand.
yeah, we can raise a hand. Let's do count. Those who are supporting the proposed rezone. Those who are opposing the proposed rezone. Or want to, and those who abstain. All right. I'm sure the secretary got an exact count of people who are online.
What did you get?
17.
I got 17.
Okay.
All right.
But this is your chance if you have things you want to say, or you'd like to change, this is your chance to say.
Yeah, you can also add the rest.
Yeah, we want input from the neighbors. Yeah.
Let me also note, it will be on Open City Hall as it gets closer to the public hearings, so you can also, if you're shy here, you can type in your your concerns on open city hall in the
So
townhomes.
the importance of this meeting really is to be able to have the chair have enough information when he goes and represents us at the planning commission and at the city council.
Right.
So if we understand that, that really.
Yeah, it would be helpful. The hard part about this is the first meeting of this new system. And the neighbors in that area really didn't know about this. And maybe that's partly my fault, but it would be helpful, Doug, or the city or someone, if I could get an email with those pictures and proposals that I could send it
Those
out.
were attached to the
Were they?
agenda online.
Then maybe I
It was
just-
part of supplemental
Some
materials.
of them were.
Some of
Not
them-
all
Not
of
this
them,
one.
not all of them,
That's what I'm
but
saying,
some
because
of
the
them.
biggest concerns were the exterior, the height, landscaping, that type of thing. So now that you have more information, if I could get that, I could forward it on. And then if they want to come to those other meetings and
Right.
comment, they can.
Well, one thing I can do even right now, Robert, we can, some of these I can send on to you.
Okay.
Or you could send them
In
to
the meeting,
Rachel. I
it's
wonder.
in the chat.
Yeah,
I
you
can send them out to all of you.
Send them out and she can post. them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can just add it to your post. and
Right,
send it to-
yeah. I don't know if you noticed that. I had put a link.
I did. I
To
saw
it where
some
you
of them,
can
but I didn't
see.
see all
There's-
of it.
it
Yeah, it
doesn't
wasn't,
have
we
them.
didn't have all of them, so,
And when the
Okay.
next meetings will be, that would be helpful.
So
yeah, definitely.
I think we're moving to our final agenda item, which is just if people have any public comments. And this is just the short 2-minute, if you have something you want to bring up and share.
So can I
Go ahead.
ask before we move on?
Oh, sorry.
Because kind of along with this, I know in the past, and this would be for Bill before you run off. In the past, we've had like, if a development's coming and we're going to have a neighborhood meeting or something, there's been a cute little yellow sign or something. So the neighbors knew about it ahead of time. If this is that meeting, then it sounds like that won't happen. Or
No,
will there
all of
still
those
be
same
that?
noticing requirements are still in place. So the yellow
Okay.
signs go up, the little postcards go out to neighbors within 500 feet. All of those noticing requirements will stay the same.
Those are for the.
And that's for planning commission,
Oh, okay.
not for the neighborhood meeting.
So that still technically needs to happen for this project specifically?
We'll go to the planning.
Yes.
commission
Okay,
And the city council.
okay, so there is still another place for input on this project.
Plus the open city hall. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So we talked about how we're gonna get those, everything that is on the portal. I can't.
We can do that after.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
You get
let's just
Yeah, we can
confirm
do
if
that.
there are or are not any people who want to have a public comment. Go ahead, Matt.
I'd like to make a comment, and it's more of a question, I think maybe to Rachel, but to all of us. I mean, part of what we started talking about this meeting is kind of a push-pull communication issue that exists everywhere.
Yeah,
And this new method actually didn't change any of that, I don't think, except that I think Rachel now is more connected. Because as a neighborhood chair, I kind of felt always that I was just solo. I mean, I could talk to people in the city, like planners and stuff, about questions on these kind of things. But now I think you're supporting the district, so we have a new way of at least making sure information is available. But I think the answer to all of our questions is still, people in the neighborhoods have to know where to go and have to go there. They're never
Right.
gonna give us enough emails and enough phone numbers to text or email. They have to still go someplace and see it. And we just need to
Right.
make it obvious and communicate. If you want to be informed, this is where you go.
right. So we did send a mailer to every residence in Provo that does have the calendar on there of when their meeting is, with a QR link to our website where they can get the agendas. But, I mean, that's one of our biggest problems, as you know, is how do you get information to every single citizen in Provo? Because some are online, some aren't, some check their mail, some don't, some email, some text. And so that's,
But
one
it's
of our
still, I mean, this
struggles.
modern age, the answer still is put it where they can find it and then make sure they know where to go, but they still have to go take the steps.
Yeah.
Right.
None of that changed in this new model. People still need to go take the steps to be involved.
The next meeting's when, March 1st or something like that?
March, no, it's second, I think.
yeah, I think
So
March
is there anybody
2nd.
else who wants to give public comment?
Any other person who has public comment they want to share, either in person or online?
Had any online. I just want to show really quick. So here's our website. And if you go to provo.org under government, city council, and then your neighborhood district program, if you click on that, and if you go down to the calendar, you can click on, here's our neighborhood district 1 meeting. There's your agenda, your Zoom links. There was a PDF of the PowerPoint I gave. There was a link to the Kindness Week video. And then there were documents that we had received from him where you can go and look at the project. But again, if people don't know to look here, that's the problem. And that's what it'll be like for every meeting. You just click on your meeting and that will be up.
But also on this page, if you scroll up or down, sorry, I can't remember which at this point, there is a place where people can, there it is, click here to receive emails from your chair.
Right.
Are those coming from you quarterly, weekly? What should we?
Yeah, so the emails, that's what I just barely emailed you about, where we do get people who can opt in for their emails. But the problem is, it's just their name and an address, and I have to go through every single one and figure out what neighborhood they're in, and then I can send it to you. So I'm gonna start working on that, but in that way, you can have an email list of people that have opted in that you can send this information out to.
Okay, so you won't be creating an email group and doing that yourself to different districts?
No, because I'm not emailing them. It would be either the district chair or the members of the board.
And is there a place on here where we can see the list of dates of neighborhood meetings that you?
Yeah, so you can either check the calendar or right here, we've got 2023 neighborhood district meeting schedule. So there it is there. We also have the list of the contact information. For all, you can see your board members, their contact information. So most of the information you're looking for will be here on that one webpage.
Great.
So I'm wondering, there should be a time when just the board gets together. Because everything we've got scheduled is for the meeting.
It's for the meeting. Yeah, if you
come,
want to get together, you guys can arrange that.
it seems like at least to come together, know who we are better and have some kind of desire on how we want to get this thing going out. I would make that proposal that we set a time to get together.
As long as there's trees.
Sounds good.
I would move to adjourn this meeting,
Yes.
all the neighbors.
I think we have a second on that.
Was there something else on the agenda?
Is it okay to adjourn at this point?
Yeah, you're in
Alright.
charge. You're the chair.
Yeah.
The meeting is adjourned.
Yeah. And I guess